Hello there, everybody. This is Elizabeth Marion Kilkenny, certified hypnotist, stopping in to talk some more with you about our Hangout, hangoutwithweightloss.com. This is a hangout where Rosemary Shulman, RN, and myself, both hypnotists, have come to you to show you how hypnosis can help you on your journey towards a slim, trim, healthy person. Now, the best way to define hypnosis to you is to tell you what I did this week, and that was I purchased a new computer. Very nice machine, by the way. But when I purchased it, there was very little programming inside it. This is the way that they're giving computers these days. They'll give you a little temporary taste of what they have to offer, but then you have to download it and implement it and pay for it and whatnot. So what I did was I purchased the programs, the software that I knew I needed to make this machine work the way I wanted it to work. I didn't want anything extra. I just wanted it to work the way I needed it to work. Now, that's exactly what hypnosis is. You have a hard drive inside you. It's called your subconscious mind. And the programs that are implemented in there are programs that somebody else decided you needed. Never in your life did you really say to yourself, what would I like to program my mind with the capabilities of doing? What belief systems would I like to have in there, and which ones would I like to get rid of? You started off and you went to school, right? Well, first of all, you were born and you were automatically put on this 4-hour regiment of eating. Now, who decided that 4-hour regiment of eating was good for a baby? I mean, are we not really something like the rest of the animal population where we're really grazers? That could be the reason why we find it so hard to stay on a 4-hour schedule. I don't know. I'm just suggesting. But I would imagine that these schedules were probably made up for convenience sake in hospitals or nurseries or wherever they used to do this years and years ago. So imagine that that was wrong initially, but we're programmed with that feeding schedule. So we stuck with it. Then when we got a little bit bigger, we were sent off to, say, daycare or something like that, and we were put on their schedule. And we were taught what they decided we needed to be taught. Right? And meanwhile, mommy and daddy and brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and everybody in the family is programming you with what they have learned and what they've been programmed with. Let it be right or wrong. They're filling your mind with everything that they know or believe to be true. Whether it is or not, they're filling your mind with it, and you are assuming and trusting these people, and therefore you're taking this information on as though it is absolute gospel truth. So then you get to a little bit older in age, and you end up going to, say, high school. And you think now you're a big shot. You think you know that you can decide what it is you want to do. When in reality, somebody has already decided that for you. You are taught what they feel you need to learn. Pretty much every hour of your day is being impressed or being dictated to you by somebody else. You are at home, you've got to listen to your parents, which I can understand. I did the same thing with my children. You go to school, you're being taught by somebody who you don't even know. You're trusting your future with these people and assuming that they know what they're talking about, and you're learning what they're teaching you. You have very little time to really socialize because after that, then you're being sent to do physical activity, let it be gym or some sports of some kind, or maybe you're learning how to dance or you're learning an instrument or the idea is to keep you learning and learning and learning. But is it what you want to learn or is it what somebody else wants you to learn? That's my question. Most of it is very good information, don't get me wrong. This is how we get our intellectual abilities, is by learning what other people have to teach us, by reading, and reading is learning what somebody else had to teach us because they obviously wrote the books. But how much of what you learned is extra nonsense, and how much of what you have programmed in you is really not pertaining to your life and your desires in your life? So now let's imagine that, say, a 2-year-old now is walking around having a great time in life, and I want you to imagine the reality of the situation is that their mind opens up. Say the top of their head opens up like a vase. You know what a vase looks like? It's got a wide top on it, and it's filled with water and with flowers. But I want you to imagine that this little child's head is like a vase and it's just opening up. And everybody who comes in contact with that child is pouring their opinions, their beliefs, their negativities, their fears into this child's head. Imagine the damage that that does to this child. Now, I know it's good intentions and everything, but that's not what it ends out being in a lot of cases. And then particularly imagine if this child is living in an abusive home where it's being told that it's good for nothing, it'll never amount to anything, you're a pain in the neck, you're disorderly, you're loud, you're this, you're that, you're other, all of this is part of the programming process that goes on. But anyway, we keep going and we go through school and everybody puts a little bit of themselves into us. And then we get to college and we think, okay, now we're adults, we'll decide what career we want to go into. So you know what? That's about the only choice you have in the situation. You don't even know if you'll get into the college because it's up to the college to decide whether you're material that they want or not. It doesn't really matter the education standards you have. It matters as to whether they like your personality, they like your sports capabilities or your extracurricular activities. Yeah, sure, if you're a smart student, absolutely you're going to get in because they want you to be something that represents them. And obviously, if you're a smart student, that's going to get you in there too. But the point I'm trying to make is once you get into that college, somebody else again decides the requirements that you need in order to fulfill the choice of career that you have made. So you can decide you want to go, for instance, to the medical profession, and somebody decides this is what you need, this is what you need, this is what you need. You have to have these basic um, uh, classes under your belt. You have to have so many labs. You have to do this, do that, do the other thing. Same thing if you decide you want to be a teacher. Well, somebody has decided what it is you need to accomplish that. So you really don't have a lot of leeway. So here you go again. You're being programmed. Then you graduate from college and you head off to a career. Well, again, somebody is telling you what it is you have to do and how to do it. So it's sad to say that we really don't get an awful lot of opportunity to program ourselves unless, of course, we're tuned into this potential. And unfortunately, there is no class at school that teaches you that you have a mind in there that can be programmed to do anything you want to do within reason, of course. I mean, it has to suit your life. It has to suit your physique. It has to suit your abilities. You can't expect to be a heavyweight boxer when you're 123 pounds and you don't qualify. So it has to be within reason. Now, I'm not talking nonsense here. I'm talking about within your capabilities. So, all right, let's say you could change some of those programs that are inside you. So, say you decide you want to change them and you come to somebody like me, a hypnotist, only because that's what we do. We deal with changing your mind, your subconscious mind. So, all right, you're there now and you come into my office and you want to know exactly what is hypnosis. Well, this is how I'm going to explain it to you. I want you to imagine yourself standing in the middle of the floor, and I want you to close your eyes and think about all the things that are swirling around your conscious mind at any given moment. Just before we do that, though, let me just go one step further and say that there are three minds we concern ourselves with as hypnotists. The inner mind is the unconscious mind, okay? And that's the part that controls our breathing, our heart beating, our hair growing, our digestion, our blood circulating, everything that we don't have to think about from one end of the day to the next. And it's a good thing we don't because I think a lot of us would be in serious trouble every day if we had to remember all that stuff. All right, so that's the innermost part of your mind. That's the unconscious mind. And then you've got the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is where those programs that we've been discussing are housed. The thing is, though, that the other part of your mind is the conscious mind, and that's the part you live in every single day. And that's what I'm asking you to imagine yourself standing in the middle of that floor. And this conscious mind of yours is just whirling and whirling and whirling and whirling and whirling and whirling and whirling all around you. It's like a tornado spinning and spinning and spinning. And inside that tornado are the names and the dates and the passwords and the email addresses and the job and what you have to do to accomplish your job and your education and what you have to get and the credit you have to get and the homework assignments you have to finish and the names of your coworkers and teachers. And I mean, it just keeps going and going, and phone numbers and bills and TV shows and music and everything that we've got going on in our lives on an everyday basis. It's getting busier and busier and busier, and it keeps spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. But the thing is, in order to change your subconscious mind, the part where the programs are housed, you have to get through that conscious mind. Because that conscious mind has another job that we're not really very aware of, and that is it's the protector of your conscious mind, of your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind is the gatekeeper of your subconscious mind. So in order for you to get into your subconscious mind, you have to bypass that conscious mind. And that's the definition of hypnosis, is bypassing that critical factor that is housed in your conscious mind. So how do we do that? Well, with hypnosis, what I want you to imagine a hypnotist can do, and we do all the time, is unzip that swirling, busy, busy, busy part of your mind from the very top of your head right down to your feet. And once that happens, I want you to imagine that whole conscious mind just dropping down to the ground, and you step out of it. And what's left standing is the core of the person who you are. And now we can work with that core person. We can actually accomplish what we set out to accomplish, what you want to accomplish, the changes you want to make, not the changes I want you to make, but the changes you want to make. I want you to imagine that you are the larger version of that 2-year-old vase that's been contaminated and programmed with all this nonsense, fears, anxieties, lack of ownership, lack of self-confidence, inability to do this, that, and the other thing. I mean, it's just ongoing, constantly ongoing. I want you to imagine you are the adult version of that 2-year-old vase, and you're in this office or any other office, or even at home listening to these programs. You are going to be actually emptying out that vase and filling it up again with the programs that you desire in your life right now. No nonsensical fears, no inhibitions, no negatives. You are going to start living your life on your terms. Because you know what? The only thing that stops you from doing what it is that you want to do in life are your programs, your beliefs that you cannot do what it is you want to do, your beliefs that you're too weak to take on changes in your life and that you can't do it. For some unknown reason, you have these beliefs, and they're just negative programming that has been placed in you somewhere along the way, and we can get rid of it. Now, you might ask, what happens when you come into a hypnotist office? Well, if you were to come into my office, first of all, I would spend some time talking to you because you and I must get to know each other. We have to understand that there is a trust factor here, and that the only interest I have is in improving how you look at yourself. I have no other interest. It doesn't faze me in the least what it is that you accomplish with all of these improvements, but I am concerned that if you don't change the way you look at yourself and your beliefs and your abilities to change yourself, that you're going to miss out on your life. You've probably, if you're dealing with obesity, have missed out on a massive portion of your life already. Please, please stop allowing life to bypass you. It's not a dress rehearsal. This is the real thing. Anyway, what would happen is you would come into the office and I would ask you, after getting to know you, to sit down in my recliner. And that's where the hypnosis would begin. Now, I would also tell you that you have absolutely nothing to do except follow the sound of my voice. And it is the sound of my voice that's going to bring you on this journey deep inside your subconscious mind, past your conscious mind. Because the way we're going to accomplish that is by relaxation technique, by you giving up that whole conscious mind swirl for the time being and allowing it to exit your very being, allowing it to just float away, unloading yourself with all of this daily nonsense that goes on spinning and spinning and spinning around you, and you actually make a firm decision in the privacy of your own home, mind you, with this program, you make a firm decision to allow this to just fade away. And then what we're going to be dealing with is the core of you, the real you, the person who you want to be, who you want to change. And then you and I together will make those changes. Using my voice and your determination, we can do anything that you want to do. And the only thing that's holding you back from doing it and accomplishing it is your fear or your disbelief in the fact that it's possible. Well, I'm here to tell you it is possible. It happens every single day in this office. When people walk out of here, they say to me, "My God, that was the most incredible experience I have ever had. Why didn't I do this years ago? What held me back?" Well, I'll tell you, you have no reason to hold back any longer, because obesity is a disaster. Living inside a huge body is not living at all. You may act like you're having a great time and you may be the funniest one in town, but you know what? I know the pain you're suffering. When you close your eyes, you are quite contented living inside there, but it's when you open your eyes and you see the reaction of other people, or you see the reflection in the mirror, or you realize that your body won't move the way you want it to move, that's when the pain sets in again and again and again. And you get up every morning just like I did, saying to yourself, "This is going to be the day that my life changes. This is going to be the day I take control of my life." And if you're anything like I was, you go to bed that night and you say to yourself, "What the hell is wrong with me? Why can't I just get through one day? Why did I break down this afternoon and give in to that ridiculous, tormenting sugar that's constantly niggling at me? Why do I have such a weak spirit that I can't just say no to something like that?" It's not your spirit, it's your programming. It's your programming. You believe that you love these foods and that they make you happy, and they don't make you happy. But that's the way your mind is programmed. The same as if I had Microsoft Works loaded in my computer, and instead I wanted to download another program. They would fight over who takes over, and one of them would probably have to give in. I'd have to probably what would you call, delete one out of my system in order to implement the other, or at least put one of them on hold. I could not have two of them conflicting with each other. Same with security systems. You might have McAfee or you might have Norton. So you have to decide which one it is you want, because both of them are going to compete against each other, and your whole system's going to pay the price. That's what's going to go on here. You are going to decide some morning that you want to be good, and the next thing, the program that's implanted in you that tells you that you love these foods and that you can't live without them, that you're weak-willed, that you're this, you're that, you're other thing, that's going to take over. And you know something? Come nightfall, you're going to be just like me. What the hell is wrong with me? Why can't I succeed? Well, from this point forward, if you start changing the programs that are implemented in your subconscious mind, you will change and you will succeed. And you know something? This is not just with weight management. This is with every area of your life. If you find yourself afraid to talk in front of people, or nervous about going on an airplane, or going over a bridge, or going on an elevator, or being nervous about heights, or afraid of crowds, or afraid to get out of the house, any of these things, they're all programs. They are all programs. No child is born with the fear of going out with other people. This is something that they learn, or the majority of them. I'm not saying there aren't conditions where mental disease takes over. And yes, that's the case. But I don't believe that that's necessarily the case here. I believe that if you're watching this and you know that something is really wrong, you want to do something about it. So we're going to assume that you have a healthy mind and you are able to choose for yourself what it is you want out of this life. And if you decide that this is what you want and you want to change the programs that are lodged inside that subconscious mind of yours, then you've come to the right place. Now, what we're doing here is just taping segments of this Hangout so that you know what we're going to offer here. Now, we do have this program available to the general public and to hypnotists. We want as many great hypnotists as we can get to implement this program to the world, because it's become the obsessive problem all over the world, obesity. It's taking over this planet, at least in civilized countries anyway. You have to try to do what you can to solve this problem, either by taking care of it yourself or by being the hypnotist that can help other people. And I'm talking about children and young people. Everybody has to get this message that you can control how you behave with this body that you've been given. If you're interested in learning more about this program that we're offering, Rosemarie Shulman and myself have a website. It's www.bariatricsurgeryforthemind.net. This is not a virtual program. This is dealing with people who are morbidly obese or obese, people who have gone through surgeries, who need help in changing your mind. The surgeons are changing the anatomy and they're doing a fabulous job. But you need help changing that mind and becoming the mind of a slim, trim, healthy person. And when you accomplish both, oh my gosh, you are going to be amazing. Unstoppable. So like I said, you can go to bariatricsurgeryforthemind.net, or if you're a hypnotist and you want to get involved in becoming a certified bariatric hypnotist, please go to www.gastricsurgerysolutions.com, or please come back here, check out what we have on YouTube to see exactly what it is we're offering here. Don't go in cold turkey or not knowing what you're doing. We want you to know exactly what we're offering. We're not messing around here. We know that this is a serious problem. I myself have lost up on 100 pounds. I know what obesity does to one's life. Please don't let it take away any more of yours. I want to thank you for stopping in again. We're going to continue with these little snippets on YouTube. I want you to feel free to listen, join in. We are going to be going live. If you'd like to leave your email address so we can notify you when that happens, we really would appreciate it. Otherwise, just keep checking in and hanging in, as I say, and hanging out here on Hangout with weightloss.com. And this is Marianne Kilkenny signing off once again and thanking you for joining me and Rosemarie here at this hangout where we're hoping to bring you back to reality and give you back control over your life. So until next time, take care and thanks very much for stopping in. Bye now.